Hi everyone, I'm Vegas Film Critic Jeffrey K. Howard here in Las Vegas. Thank you so much for joining me as it's been a little over a week since we had the Las Vegas shootings, the tragedy, the massacre, whatever the media is labeling it now. And it's taken me a good, week and a half, 2 weeks to get on here and talk about my experiences and what's happened here in town. And, a lot of people have been asking me, where's the video, Jeff? What do you think was going on? And it was really hard for me. It really was. And I know we've had shootings in Sandy Hook, and we've had, Orlando, and also just San Bernardino, and I watch these with a heavy heart. I feel for the communities, and I feel for the victims, but it's completely different when it happens to you. And Las Vegas, we knew we had a target on our back. And I would see every 3 or 4 months on our local newscasts of all of our first responders, all of our fire department and police department, all training for all these different scenarios, whether it be, you can imagine, they had to protect the city because tourism is our bread and butter. So they were ready. They really were. And so I'm sitting here watching Fear the Walking Dead on a Sunday night, and my roommate comes running in, turn on the news, and there was this madman, shooting from the Mandalay Bay from the 30-something floor into a crowd of 22,000 people next door at the Route 91 country concert, 3-day event. We have so many events in this town, and people came from all over the country, all over the world for this festival, and to have this madman up there shooting these automatic weapons into the crowd. And I think the final tally was, over 620-something people injured and 58 dead. And just I was glued to the television for the next, 12 hours most of the night, watching this unravel, watching the first responders, watching the police, and everyone just jumping to attention, watching victims being helped by people and the concert goers that were there. Just the outpouring of commitment and love by everyone in this town really surprised a lot of people that don't live here. I've born and raised here in Las Vegas, and so many people have done jokes my whole life. Oh, do you live in a hotel? Oh, do you gamble every day? And all that. And I tell people, look, we're 2 million people in this city. Think about it like Disneyland in Anaheim. It's like if you're from Anaheim, yeah, everyone's going to talk about Disneyland. Everyone's going to talk about Hollywood if you're there. Oh, you go to Universal Studios every day. So it's like, no, that's our tourism there. We have downtown in the Strip where there's gaming. Then we have 2 million people here. We have the 5th largest school district in the country. We have Red Rock hiking. We have Lake Mead. We have skiing up at Lee Canyon. There's so much in Las Vegas. There's so much of Clark County. There's so much in Nevada that most people don't understand that is here. When I have colleagues or people from out of town, I give them the nickel tour, as I call it. And they're like, I had no idea that Vegas was beyond the Strip, was beyond downtown, beyond gaming. It is. It really is. And I'm fiercely proud of my town. I really am. And a lot of people have asked me, it's like, well, wait a minute, Jeff, now there's this tragedy here, the mass shooting, historically, the greatest mass shooting in U.S. history, and now Vegas has to wear that brand, that label, I don't want to say until the next one, but it's just like, that's a pretty big label to carry with you. Now, if you watch my videos here, if you watch my television show, you watch all the interviews I do, I'm the Vegas Film Critic, okay? That's my branding. That is my introduction to everyone from my career, from my film reviews, for my interviews. And if you notice, every time I say greetings from Las Vegas, and I get a response from people, I get there, I was just there. Oh, I'm coming there next week. Oh, we just had a bachelor party there. Oh, my favorite restaurant is there. Oh, I want to come see a show there. It's just such a great way to break the ice and just makes me so proud. And now it's like, I had to do a couple interviews the day after the shooting, and I called and I canceled. I just didn't have of course, the next day I couldn't do it. But then I did one day or two later, and now every time I say, Jeff from Vegas, it's like, I got how's it going there? It's like, and I understand the empathy, and I appreciate that. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, how Vegas has got this black mark on it now that who knows how long it's going to take to get over that. So I want people to know. And people say, well, what can we do, Jeff? Of course, donating money to the victims and all of those things, those efforts are great, but just come to Vegas, okay? Don't let this madman scare you away, okay? This is one of the safest towns in the world, definitely. I mean, look at the New Year's Eve parties we have. We have 300,000-400,000 people come here, so it's very safe. So if you want to show your appreciation, if you want to show your commitment, visit Vegas. Don't cancel trips, don't cancel conventions, come on, we're open for business, and I'm telling you, we'd love to have you, and that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. So there was all kinds of vigils going on around town. I went down, the city created this healing garden that had a tribute to all the victims, and it was just a really serene place to to really have a spiritual kind of connection to the tragedy. And there's so much going on in this town. It's still going on. It's still going on. And people, they needed blood donated. You had to make an appointment. Within 12 hours, you had to make an appointment over a week out. And it's still coming in. So, and not only that, every business in this town is donating things to the victims, from, you know, from medical assistance to helping with the bills to food, and to first responders are eating free for the next 2 weeks around here. It's just so much going on in Las Vegas, the outpour of this community. It's just impossible for me to go through everything. But I've never been so, I don't want to say ashamed. What's the word? I've never been so sad for my community, you know, for the victims and what's happened here. But also, I've never been so proud of Las Vegas, you know. And I think a lot of people think Sin City and no one has a heart here, and no one. But you know, I'm telling you, we are Vegas strong, and it's one of the most remarkable cities in the world. If you just look beyond the tourism, the glitz, the glamour, the neon lights, there is an amazing community here that I am so proud to call home. And I want to thank you too for supporting Las Vegas, and all the calls I've gotten from all over the country, from colleagues and my Facebook and everything. It's just absolutely, the outpour is just really touching. So thank you so much. Anyway, I'm Vegas film critic Jeffrey Howard. Wanted to give you my 2 cents about the Vegas tragedy. I hate the word massacre, but I don't know, it depends on which channel you watch. But thank you so much for keeping Vegas in your hearts, and also come visit us. I'm Jeffrey Howard in Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. We're open. I'll see you next time.